Talking about Nikon, or Nippon Kogaku as they used to be called. Actually, they just changed their name to Nikon in 1988. I don't know if you know that or not, but they haven't officially been known as that for very long. But anyway, I've got 6 vintage lenses that I want to talk to you about and give you a little sample of what they can do with their field of view and their out of focus background and whatnot. So stay tuned, and I'll be back with you in just a second.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always coming down.
This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott. All right, this week's episode, we're going to be taking a little look in the past at a particular lens company, a camera company called Nikon. I'm sure you've heard of them before. This episode, like every other Camera Talk, is brought to you by Modesty photography, which is focused all about how to save you money, how to introduce you to some beginner photography stuff. For those professionals out there, please don't get too harsh or critical on me for keeping things relatively simple, but this is for people who are beginning into the genre of photography. And if you're looking for highly technical photography stuff, there's plenty of other YouTubers out there to watch in that regard. But anyway, what I want to talk about this week, again, is Nikon. And Nikon is a company that's been around 103 years. They started in 1917. Of course, they weren't called Nikon back then. They were some of these still have the name on, and Nippon Kogaku with some other Japanese names. It was Japanese optical company, basically, if you translate it. And it wasn't until 1988, actually, that they took on the name Nikon Corporation. So it's, it was called Nippon Kogaku for a very long time, even though they used Nikon and Nikon and whatnot in their product names. But the company itself didn't actually become Nikon until 1988. So anyhow, today I have 6 vintage lenses here, and I want to just briefly touch on each one and
Stop touching me!
Give you a little sample of what they can do. And the reason I focus on vintage lenses is because they're a heck of a lot cheaper than current lenses.
That's what I'm talking about!
And today's lenses are great and everything, but they're very I don't know, I guess you could say they're lacking a little bit in character.
The content of that character!
They're very clinically sharp and whatnot, so they're great lenses, obviously, optically. But these older lenses have some character to them. There's some, obviously, flaws in them, and then when you're using, today's kind of cameras like my Sony A7R II with a 42 megapixel sensor, the resolution on these, the resolution on the sensor from these lenses can be quite taxed because these lenses weren't designed for such modern technologies and whatnot. So anyway, I'm still going to go through each one, and as usual, what I generally do is I put this on my camera and take a photo of my Canon M50, which is filming this video, just to show you, what the lens looks like, the field of view it has, and so on and so forth. So anyway, let me start with my smallest one on the end here.
Size does not matter. It's what you know how to do with it.
This is a 28 millimeter 3.5. It's a Nikon H, and it was produced from 1977 through 1981. I didn't look up exactly what year this was produced, but
pay attention and listen.
So anyway, what I'm going to do is actually, let me take off take off the adapter here on this particular lens and put it on my 28 here and give you a sample view of what this lens looks like on my Sony. So let me get rid of my Yashica lens. That's another video all in itself. So let me show you, and of course I'm going to shoot this wide open. Let's make sure I am at 3.5, which I am, and let me obviously got to turn it on. It doesn't work unless you turn it on, right? So anyway, let me give you, obviously with 28 millimeter, this is going to be a very wide field of view, which
we all need to throw away our wide-angle lenses.
So 1, 2, 3. All right. So that is my 28 millimeter. So it's got a, as I said, it's got a very wide field of view. So that is the 28. So it's a nice range here. Actually, I should probably introduce them together as a group before I go through each one. I have a 50 millimeter 1.4. I have a 55 millimeter 1.2. I have an 85 millimeter 1.8. I have a 105 millimeter 2.5, and I have a 135 millimeter 3.5. So let me move on now to the 50. So this was the 28, and let me move this off of here. Now, of course, with my Sony A7R2, it is a full frame sensor, so therefore the field of view on these lenses is going to be exactly what they're rated for. So this 50 millimeter is going to be a 50 millimeter field of view, versus if I were using it on my APS-C, this 50 millimeter would give me a field of view of, because it's a Canon APS-C, a field of view of 80 millimeter. So anyway, that's another video. You can check out my last one to check out that. So this is a 50 millimeter 1.4, and you know, this particular lens was produced in 1974. This is a pre-AI lens, and that's of course going to
so we need to be very careful with artificial intelligence.
And with my zoom, get it in for a nice tight focus. So here we are, and that is my Nikon 50 1.4. As much as the cameras were great in their day for their thing, I think Nikon's greatest strength is definitely their lenses. They went all out on their lenses, and definitely no complaints at all regarding the quality of their lenses. I quite enjoy shooting with these. All right, so let me move on down. So this was the 50, of course, the nifty 50 for the Nikon 1.4. Next one is our Nikon SC. So it's a and of course the S, just like the H, everything designates you know, the number of elements. So I think the S was 7 elements, if I'm not mistaken. With the C is for multi-coating. So this was the first 55 version. This was version number 3, I do believe, that Nikon made of this 55 millimeter. Now, of course, if you could see through that, you know, that's one hell of a beautiful lens. I mean, you look at the front element on that, it's like, you know, for lens lovers, you know, you could stare at that all day. It's like a piece of artwork you hang up on the wall, so to speak. And you know, again, with multi-coating on there, you can see it's got a kind of a little amber colored coating on there, which is obviously great for you know, reducing the aberrations and ghosting and whatnot on there. Not that it's perfect, but it's better than nothing, as they say. So so this is my 55. As I said, it was produced in 1972, so it's a little older, older lens. And you know, they didn't make a lot of 55s. This is version number 3, and you know, they stopped making them in the early 1980s. So this is wide open f1.2. So I did another video on this lens here, the 55. It was a battle between this one and the Canon for the 55 1.2s. And you know, as great as this lens is, I think the Canon kind of beat it out just a bit. But you'll have to watch that video if you want to see the details on that one. So that is my Nikon SC 55 1.2. Let me change this out for my next one in the group. Here is the 85. Let's see, put the cover back on this one here. So the 85 millimeter. Now this is again another Nikkor H, the Auto 85 1.8, and you know, this particular one is older than the other. This one's 1969 that this was produced, and you know, again, 85 millimeter is the portrait lens. There's you know, this lens was also made famous in I forget the name of the movie now. So let me get a focus in on the end of my 15 to 45 millimeter EOS M lens here. Cha-ching. So again, this is the Nikkor H85, similar to the 55. It's a beautiful front element, you know. It's one that, you know, again, these Nikon lenses are really works of art. They're very beautiful.
You are so beautiful.
Let's move on. So this is the 85. Now let me yeah, I should have used my other adapter. It's not quite as weird as this one. Oh, that's because you got to pull down on it. No wonder I'm pushing on it. Duh.
Why is your problem?
So here I have another one. This is a K&F concept lens where it's you pull down on this one. So anyway, I'll use this one for the next two. So we'll keep this, keep that one aside. So the next in line is my Nikkor 105 2.5. So it's 105 millimeter. Again, if you look through that, it's one hell of a nice lens. Very sharp, very famous. You know, if you've ever seen the National Geographic picture of the Afghan girl from the what was that, 1981 or something like that. Anyway, it's the most famous photograph in the world as far as you know, National Geographic goes, and it was made or created with this lens. Actually, I wish it was this particular lens. That would make this quite valuable for me. But still, you know, if you get yourself one of these 105s, I mean, you can tell how sharp it is just even just looking down the barrel. You know, very nice piece of glass. That's a fact. And you know, this is created in 1976. So it is, you know, again from the 70s, and let me get a shot of the Canon from here.
You speak Japanese?
Zoom in on the end of the 15 to 45 millimeter. Very nice. 1, 2, 3. Voila! It's got a very obviously tight field of view from this distance from the camera, but again, it's a super lens. You know, if you ever get a chance to buy one of these, definitely get one. It's great for the collection. It's great for portraiture. You know, I can't really speak any greater about it. It's a fantastic lens. Now, last on my list is my 135. Now, this is a, I always forget Nikon twist opposite direction for everybody else. The 135, 3.5. Now they have another 135. It's a 2.8, I do believe. But it's bigger and it's more expensive. But really, the 3.5 is really just as sharp as the other, so that's what I would suggest. So let me get a shot for you of this one. Comes with its own built-in lens hood.
That's what she said.
So let me get a shot on the end of the Canon M50 here.
Do I make you Randy?
Wide open at 3.5. Still very nice. 1, 2, 3. Voila. And that is the sample shot of my Nikon 135. All right, so that is that.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
This is the, as I said, this is the collection of Nikon lenses, and they are beautiful lenses. They are really, you can't complain about them either way. They are a fantastic lens, regardless of which focal length they are. You know, they're highly recommended by myself and others as well. Another one who talks a lot about Nikon lenses is the angry photographer, you know, Ken Wheeler. You know, he's got plenty to say about Nikon lenses, and so I, you know, recommend watching his YouTube videos. And you know, he's got a lot to say. He's also very opinionated about his about what he thinks about his lenses. He's definitely thinks he's the expert on all this kind of stuff, and yeah, I'm sure he knows a lot and whatnot. But anyway, as usual, this is you know, the whole purpose of this video is to give you an idea of, you know, the vintage lenses that are out there. This is my collection of the Nikon lenses, so I just wanted to show you with photographic samples, you know, what these particular lenses can give you with a field of view, as far as their out of focus backgrounds and the quality of that, you know, otherwise known as bokeh. And you know, that's again, the whole purpose of this is just to show you that, to give you an idea of what the options are that you have in the world of photography. So that's all I have for you for this week. And you know, really get out there, get shooting, learn your camera, learn your gear as much as possible, and the possibilities of your lenses and what they can do for you. As you know, for me, I'm a portraiture shooter, so you know, what kind of pictures can I get with each one of these lenses is very different, and the character they bring to your photography is priceless. And when it comes to the cost of these, they're almost nothing compared to today's types of lenses. So anyway, that's all I have for you. This is Camera Talk with Dr. Scott, brought to you by Modesty Photography. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit that like button. And we'll see you next week. Have yourself a great week. Take care. Keep away from that COVID-19, and just do the best you can to become a better photographer. All right, see you around.
Here I am, Vietnam. Rain is always good.